Samson's vengeance on the Philistines. Judges chapter 15. Later on, at that time of wheat harvest, Samson took a young goat and went to visit his wife. He said, "I'm going to my wife's room," but her father would not let him go in. "I was so sure thoroughly you hated her," he said, "that I gave her to your friend. Isn't her younger sister more attractive? Take her instead." Samson said to them, "This time I have a right to get even with the Philistines. I will really harm them." So he went out and caught 300 foxes and tied them tail to tail in pairs. He then fastened a torch to every pair of tails, lit the torches, and let the foxes loose in the standing grain of the Philistines. He burned up the shocks and standing grain together with the vineyards and olive groves. When the Philistines asked who did this, they were told Samson, the Timnite's son-in-law, because his wife was given to his friend. So the Philistines went up and burned her and her father to death. Samson said to them, "Since you've acted like this, I won't stop until I get my revenge on you." He attacked them viciously and slaughtered many of them. Then he went down and stayed in a cave in the rock of Etam. The Philistines went up and camped in Judah, spreading out near Lehi. The men of Judah asked, "Why have you come to fight us?" "We have come to take Samson prisoner," they answered, "to do to him as he did to us." Then 3,000 men from Judah went down to the cave in the rock of Etam and said to Samson, "Don't you realize that the Philistines are rulers over us? What have you done to us?" He answered, "I merely did to them what they did to me." They said to him, "We've come to tie you up and hand you over to the Philistines." Samson said, "Swear to me that you won't kill me yourselves." "Agreed," they answered. "We will only tie you up and hand you over to them. We will not kill you." So they bound him with 2 new ropes and led him up from the rock. As he approached Lehi, the Philistines came toward him, shouting, "The Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson in power." The ropes on his arms became like charred flax, and the binding dropped from his hands. Finding a fresh jawbone of a donkey, he grabbed it and struck down 1,000 men. Then Samson said, "With the donkey's jawbone I have made donkeys of them. With the donkey's jawbone I have killed 1,000 men." When he finished speaking, he threw away the jawbone, and the place was called Ramath Lehi, because he was very thirsty. He cried out to the Lord, "You have given your servant this great victory. Must I now die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised?" Then God opened up the hollow place in Lehi, and water came out of it. When Samson drank, his strength returned and he revived. So the spring was called in Hakor and is still here in Lehi. Samson led Israel for 20 years in the days of the Philistines. Interesting. There's few times David, he went and hide in a cave. Samson, I believe maybe Elisha. And we always like in America is like, go for what you want, go get it done, even in the army. And there's a lot of validity toward just action, doing tasks, getting things, being productive. However, I feel like the challenge is for people that might be watching is to get out, go to the cave, go alone, be by yourself or probably even by yourself, just you and God, so there's no distractions, or you and a friend that's on that same path that can go to a mountain together, go to a cave together, and be still and know that God is God. I think that's the only thing I have to say about this at this time. You gotta understand, I read this and I share the impression that I have the most from it. And offer any kind of simple or first impressions that I have. And that's what I do, is I'll share that. So without going into it, trying to find more and doing an an expansive study or exploratory study on just to one chapter. I read the chapter and then I go over what impresses me the most. And in this case, I think it's that. And the very last thing is, if you notice here, he was free. He got away from these guys, and he was thirsty in the desert. And then God opened up a hollow place, and water came out of it. That's also very common in, for example, I think Israel was wandering in the desert for 40 years. There's times when that was happening. Abraham's concubine or Abraham's wife's slave girl, Tamar, I believe that was Tamar. Whenever Sarah wanted them to go and Abraham cast her away, her and her son were about to die. She prayed, and there was a stream of water when she shot an arrow in a certain direction. And so I think that's part of getting out, getting away, and then getting refreshed. I hope this helps. God bless you all. Check out schooloflight.org or go to Facebook and look for the School of Light Bible study courses. We send them out free of charge. If you want to get a hold of me directly on YouTube or by phone, I guess. I don't know how you can do it by YouTube. But by phone, my number is 931-538-9643. And I will do what I can is to get these Bible studies out to you. We're having a little breakdown in the administrating type of stuff, so the requests I make sometimes don't take. And that's why I say with full transparency that I will do what I can to get you that Bible study system and started. All right, God bless. Have a good one.